Howdy, how's your day going? Morning, evening, night, whenever you're watching this video. You know what's crazy? Didn't we just watch a video where someone tried to hire a, you know what, I don't want to keep saying it. We're about to check out The Art of Hiring Fake Hitmen by that chapter. But didn't we just watch one recently and then it backfired, like didn't they tell or something like that? I watched one before as well where it was like the girl thought she was hiring, I don't remember the story exactly. She was hiring a, you know what, to get rid of her boyfriend, but the boyfriend knew what was going on, so the cops got involved, and I think she was talking to a fake one. I don't know if this is going to be that same story. So she thought the job was done, but when she go home, I think the police like rushed her, got her and everything, and then the boyfriend come out, whatever. I don't remember exactly how they kind of exposed it to her. Crazy freaking story. But looking at this thumbnail though, even though I've seen many stories like this where people hiring fake, you know what, this one doesn't look familiar to me though. But just gotta be careful who you date or interact with, I guess. Yo, my bad for the long intro. When check out the original video, link will be in the description below. But let's go.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike. Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike. And in this whole video, what we're gonna do today is something just a little bit different. Like me sitting in a chair, which you may have noticed just before. Hello. It doesn't work. Usually we would like look at a story, you know, from A to Z, right? From soup to nuts. But this time I wanted to look at something, I wanted to look at a topic as a whole from A to Z. Variety is the spice of life, and this is that in that chapter. This is the art of being bad at being really bad. That's what we're gonna look at. A host of stories from folk being unsuccessful at an art form. So I guess that means it's a great success. From outsourcing outsourcers ×5 to the when I confess to the undercover, I was joking, duh, and kind of everything else in between for love and money. Let's give these stories a go.
Yep. And all the ones I've seen, it has been for money. No, one I saw was because they was trying to get rid of somebody because they didn't want them to say something. But still, majority of them was always been for money.
So to begin, why would you? Well, I mean, I suppose that's something we look at in every video, right? The why, the motive. And it's never really pretty good, to be honest, but people are still mad. It's absolutely mad to do it. But murder for hire, or attempted murder for hire, is a big old crime. Many of these people who contacted fake hitmen are still doing the, you know, the bottle thingy with the bars today. A sentence that can range from 4 years to dozens of years. And that's only if they're unsuccessful. And the reasons for it can be silly as shit. For example, right, in 1991, proud mother Wanda Holloway of Texas tried to hire a hitman to kill the mother of one of the girls in the local high school cheerleading squad.
What?
Why? I hear you're barking, big dog. Well, see, what happened is that the daughter of the mother Wanda wanted killed, that daughter happened to beat Wanda's daughter out of a spot on the cheerleading squad. You know, Wanda was not happy, if you can believe that. And so wanted this girl's mother killed, so the daughter would be too distraught to attend tryouts, and so on and so forth.
The 2,500.
Some people legit, literally, just don't grow up mentally. Because your daughter lost. You legit think your daughter's gonna go through life and just win at everything? Damn, that's such a selfish reason, dog. What the hell?
If you can believe that. And so wanted this girl's mother killed, so the daughter would be too distraught to attend tryouts, and so on and so forth.
The $2,500 contract was only on Mrs. Heath's life, but investigators say at one point Holloway considered a contract on Heath's 13-year-old daughter as well. She decided against it, apparently, because she didn't have enough money.
In 2018, Muhammad of Houston, Texas, attempted to hire a hitman for $2,000. Who do you want gone? Well, that was a police officer for the Houston police department. You know, just
You
gotta be
tried to
pretty
get
heavy
one
going
of
after a
them
cop.
off,
And the why
boy.
was interesting. It was interesting in like a very mundane way. See, this officer had been giving him tickets for code violations for his shipping company. He was pissed and wanted a hitman to throw acid in his face. I mean, I suppose that's really not that funny, but it was stupid. And other reasons for hiring a hitman can range, you know, to holy shit. For example, here again in Houston, Texas, I'm seeing a pattern. Clarence McNatt, a former Houston Police Department officer, he became estranged from his wife. And then he tried to hire 2 men to kidnap and rape her. He got 5 years for that one. I'm sure his ex-wife was only delighted to hear he got that.
What the?
You have instigators and you have assassins. But in this whole video, we've just got undercover cops and idiots. The people I'll be going on about tend to be, you know, a little bit on the smooth brain side, not having a clue what they're doing, hence me making a video about them.
Bro.
So let's begin with Julia Merfeld, the Murdog. In Muskegon, what a beautiful name, Michigan, there lived a happy little family. It was 21-year-old Julia, her husband, 27-year-old Jake, and their 2 children, ages 4 and 2. What a lovely little family. But you ever think, you know, it's just not for me, lads. Because Julia sure did, and Jake.
So she didn't want that lifestyle anymore?
He was asking for it. He signed his own death warrant when he signed, you know, the life insurance policy, so. See, Jake Merfeld had a $400,000 life insurance policy. And Julia was licking her chops at the prospect of that being in her bank account. And so, needless to say, he needed to be $85,000. It's easier than a divorce, and you get paid for it. Win-win. A clean break was what she was looking for when she asked restaurant co-worker Carlos to take care of him.
Oh, I think I know about
50
this
grand, a lot of garbage. And at first, Carlos just laughed. But after a couple of weeks of her like incessantly asking him, he wasn't laughing anymore. That's when he realized she was serious as shit. So Carlos, he contacted the police. He said he couldn't do it. I'm up to my gills here at work. But he knew someone who could. Of course, that person who could was an undercover cop.
I knew it. Oh.
JC?
Yes.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay,
So, I guess you got a little business to discuss?
yeah.
I think I saw this one.
You know, Carlos kind of told me a little bit about what was going on, but why don't you go ahead and tell me what, you know, what's up?
Well, not entirely sure. I've been like, I don't know off the fence. Like, I know I want it done. I'm just trying to figure out when I want it done. It has to be on a Thursday because that's the day that I work. Harry told you how much, right?
He said you mentioned 50. Okay. How are you gonna work that?
That's what I was wondering. Because with Carlos, I was just gonna give him like 8 or 9 grand, like every few weeks.
Oh, I thought your shit's gone.
That way, it's like under 10 and everything and all that crap. So I don't know how you want to work that one.
Well, I mean, I would prefer to have something, you know, at the beginning to make sure that you're
the only
you're
problem with
serious
that
about
is
this.
I don't have it until, because it's all his life insurance.
Gotcha.
And so they met in a parking lot. She laid out a detailed plan of how to get into the house, what to take to make it look like a robbery.
I don't think I saw this one, but dog, that's crazy, man. Like, it's crazy how money can legit grab people like that. Where it's like, man, I know you the father of my kids. I know we were probably once in love, but I need you gone so I can get your money. What the dog? I know one thing, though. I'm so glad this shit legal. Get your motherfucking ass out of here. Wow. I ain't gonna hit the weed again.
Because it's all his life insurance.
Gotcha.
And so they met in a parking lot. She laid out a detailed plan of how to get into the house, what to take to make it look like a robbery gone wrong, all the hits, all the good ones.
Well, how do you want it done? He mentioned a couple different things to me.
If it looked like a robbery,
a shot or something first.
Yeah.
Or
Well, yeah, we were talking about insulin.
But you want it to look like a breaking. I can do it any way you want me to. I don't want him to suffer, so I'll make it quick and clean.
Perfect.
Okay.
benefits. You can do it painlessly, you know, breaking his neck. That would. I have.
Did she say
a
do it
girlfriend who wants to
painlessly
move in.
breaking
Do it
his
painlessly,
neck?
you know, breaking his neck. That would. I have a girlfriend who wants to move in with me, and I don't want her to be scared to move in with me. If she thinks that we got broken into, and then Jake got, you know.
Yeah, that's
Nigga, shit. You who she gotta be scared of?
If she thinks that we got broken into, and then Jake got, you know.
Yeah, that's probably she wouldn't want to move in.
Yeah, so I'm kind of afraid of that because I want her to move in with me because I don't want to live there by myself afterwards.
Well, you tell me how you want it done.
And so on and so forth. You can see what really matters to her. Mainly, that he is not killed in their home. So that her gal pal, who wants to move in with her, will feel safe there. Though she later doesn't even give a shit about that.
When I first decided to do this, it's not that we weren't getting along, but I mean, it was easier than, as terrible as it sounds, it was easier than divorcing him. You know, I didn't have to worry about the judgment of my family. I didn't have to worry about breaking his heart. Stuff like this. It's like kind of like a clean ghetto image.
If only her girlfriend knew who she was really living with.
Once I leave here today, it's on. Okay? So there's no calling it off. Once I leave from here, I'm planning on doing it. You're going to pay up. Got it? I'm just going to take him head on there, and I'm going to shoot him right in the face. Okay?
Damn.
So I'm going to put a couple rounds right in his noggin so that there's no accident. You know, no way he's gonna.
And I think what he's doing, he's trying to show you, hey, I'm about to legit do this. Hey, I'm about to legit do this. Trying to see if you got a heart somewhere. Nah, you just want that money.
It's right in his noggin. Okay. So I'm going to put a couple rounds right in his noggin so that there's no accident. You know, no way he's gonna live. I mean, he's gonna die. You understand that? All set?
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you. Good luck to you too.
It was shortly after their second meeting that old Julia was arrested and charged with solicitation of murder.
Good.
That could have landed her up to life.
My tears are not for your pity, Your Honor. My tears are for remorse.
She pleaded
Was
guilty
it still
to the
easier?
crime, and at sentencing her husband Jake, would-be victim.
Fortunately,
Yep, and my husband, I'll be right in trial like these, some Skittles. Just lock her ass up. Trying to get my motherfucking money. This for my kid. No, all jokes aside, though, I really would have been there. Enjoying it. I really would have. Shit is stupid. Lock her ass up.
Your Honor, my tears are for remorse.
She pleaded guilty to the crime, and at sentencing her husband Jake, would-be victim.
Fortunately, the two people who matter most have already forgiven me. My husband, who actually sits behind me right now, has already forgiven me. And the second is God.
He asked the judge to show her mercy.
Not me.
I wholeheartedly forgive my wife for all she has done in this act of hatred. Have mercy upon my wife.
Calling her wonderful.
A wonderful person.
And
That's his situation. He feel like that. Alright, he cool with it. He cool. That's his life. I couldn't have. I don't give a damn if it was my own mama. I'd have still been in there. Same attitude. Lock her ass up.
Have mercy upon my wife.
calling her wonderful.
A wonderful person.
And godly.
Godly woman. Even so much more so now than she ever has been.
Where?
I bet more now than she has been because she's hella scared now.
In 2013, she was sent away for a minimum of 5 years, maximum of 20, but is out and about today. Wonder how she's getting on with old Jake. So how often do contract killings occur? I mean, okay, obviously the ones we're looking at in this video are the ones when they don't occur, when they fail spectacularly, and it's pretty embarrassing for the people. Yes. But it's not so funny when it succeeds, and we've talked about a shitload of those stories. According to studies, roughly 2 to 3% of all murders are contract killings. Here's a few bob to off bob.
Did you bring the money?
I did.
Alright.
Okay.
And when you think of hitmen and contracts, something like gangs or the mafia, you know, that usually comes to mind. But they in fact only make up a fraction of the actual dirty deed itself. Less than 25% of contract killings are gang related. According to a study by Birmingham City University, there are 4 types of hitmen, hired by what's called the instigator. Holy shit, that name is rad. I'm gonna hire a hitman just to be called. The instigators tend to be roughly 50-50 men to women, but hitmen tend to be nearly always men. between 25 and 49 years old and unmarried. Studies show that nearly all hired killers tend to be psychopaths. Wow, what a revelation. Both the instigators and the killers tend to distance themselves, though, from the actual killing. Like when they've actually organized it and it goes ahead, the instigator, the hirer of the killer, thinks, well, I'm not pulling the trigger. Whereas the killer is like, well, I'm just following orders.
But you might as well be.
As for the types of hitmen, contract killers you have, first of all, you got like the novice. That's basically your lad down the road who's bloody eager. Then you got your dilettante, right? Who's basically someone who doesn't know anything about killing, but is someone who is essentially broke and willing to do anything for money. If you remember the case of Joseph Saunier, he was killed by a hitman who was unemployed and down on his luck. That would be a dilettante. Then you got like your journeyman who tends to be like someone who's killed before, a member of a gang, some kind of stuff like that. Finally, you got the master, the phantom, the elusive man.
Yo, and recently I was watching one, speaking of in gang, I was recently watching one. I think he was a hitman for a gang, whatever, but he told the story himself. It's on YouTube. I recently watched it. But he was just explaining about all the hits that he had that he was doing, and he was just like listing them off like it was nothing. Like now, I think now he's at the point where he kind of regretted it and was starting to hit him and everything. But he was just listening, like the way he was explaining it. It was like he was straight up just telling the story. Like the interviewer dude would ask a question, and he'd just go ahead and tell the story. But I was like, damn. But the money he was talking about they was paying him was crazy too. Like they were not paying him cheap neither. If I remember correctly. Oh my god.
Tends to be like someone who's killed before, a member of a gang, some kind of stuff like that. Finally, you got the master, the phantom, the elusive man. These are people who are least likely to be caught. This is like your Agent 47 type, and they tend to be from military backgrounds with no connection to the area.
Whew.
So that's kind of how often it tends to happen, right? 1 in every 50 murder is a contract killing, and that's like your 4 types of contract killers. But why? Funnily enough, the main motive for hiring someone to kill someone else tends to be romantic, when good love goes bad. Again, we can go back to Joseph Saunier, who, it was a love triangle turned into a straight line via a gun. Only 16% of murder for hires were financially motivated. That includes...
And that's crazy, because I just put there earlier, all the ones I saw, maybe like 1, maybe 2, have all been about money. And it's crazy because how they're talking about it now. And it seems like a lot of them are, like you said, good love gone bad. Damn, that's crazy. Let me go back a little bit. Where was we at? And just for the ones who's gonna be technical, I know we watch cases on this channel where like people like they'll not even necessarily hire, they'll set someone up to have someone else do something to a person. Try not to use those words. Technically, yes, that is contracted as well. But when I say, as far as the ones I've seen where it's always been about money, I'm talking about the actual footage or the video of people being recorded thinking they're talking to a HIT you-know-what person. So I'm talking about those when I say the ones I saw have always been about money. But yeah, this is crazy, man.
Love triangle turned into a straight line via a gun. Only 16% of murder for hires were financially motivated. That includes... Alright, you had my curiosity, now you got my attention. How much has set you back? The average is about 12 grand. That's how much you would pay to have someone kill someone, which is like, Jesus, that's all? Why not hire a few? Well, that's what one person in China bought. Unbeknownst
somebody
to
off
him.
the
So
Hitmen.
most people, well, actually all in this video, they tend to outsource, right, they're outsourcing the actual killing itself. They're outsourcing it to a hitman. They don't want to get literal blood on their hands. Not for them.
Damn.
They say, but what if you outsource it to a hitman who outsources it to another hitman? And then they outsource it and they outsource it. Han Yu Hui, I know, I'm butchering that, sorry. He was looking for someone to take care of a competitor. He placed the bid a hell of a lot higher than 12 grand, let me tell you. I'm talking over $200,000 to... In 2013, Guangxi region, Yu Hui was being sued by a business rival. This was all over some real estate business. So Yu Hui decided to make the lawsuit go away by just having them killed. So he hired a hitman for 200 grand. But that hitman, he scratched his noggin. He was thinking to himself, well, that's a shitload of money. Like, a lot. So I could just get someone else to do it and split the money with them.
Oh.
So he did. The first hitman hired a second, and he was going to pay the second hitman 100 grand, half of what he was being paid. The second hitman also thought, hey, 100 grand? It's a shitload of money. I could just hire somebody else to do it and split the difference with them. So the second hitman hired a third hitman and was going to pay him 50 grand. The third hitman had the same idea, as did the fourth. Woo! Yeah, the fourth hitman then hired a fifth hitman. But by that stage, the money had been getting cut in half, all the way down. By this stage, the money was roughly about 10 grand, and the fifth, he wasn't arsed killing anyone for that much. So he told the victim to fake his own death, and together they staged a murder scene and took some pictures. This led to the police discovering the whole affair and arresting everyone.
Damn!
Don't overpay is the lesson here. Write that down. Because that's just what Valerie Cincinnelli didn't do when she hired a hitman for $7,000 in New York City. See, $7,000 might get you to murder one person, her ex-husband. Wasn't quite enough to get the hitman to also murder her ex-husband's 13-year-old daughter. Valerie was a former NYPD cop and wanted her estranged husband, Isaiah, gone. The motives for the moida? Well, attention. She loved it. And money, she loved that too. She didn't want him getting any of his paws in her, like, government pension. She just wasn't having it. Beating the shite out of people who did nothing wrong was also something she loved. But, I mean, she was a cop. She had a number of restraining orders against her, not just from Isaiah, but from a previous husband. And even her current boyfriend fell down the stairs from time to time. So, she asked her current boyfriend, John D. Rubba-Dub-Dub, to hire a hitman for 7 grand and have the ex taken out. John, instead, he went to the police when she asked him to kill the daughter also. And so the sting was on. John, of course, was supposed to contact a hitman to do the deed.
This is crazy.
He instead contacted the FBI. In fairness to Valerie, she did seem to have some knowledge of what the police could get from phones and stuff.
Delete your text.
I do delete my texts.
What name?
Are you dumb? I'm gonna erase everything. I'm gonna throw the phone away.
Are you kidding me? I said 10 days they could subpoena messages. They can subpoena these photos.
So her real misstep was believing her boyfriend would actually help in a murder plot against a man and a girl. The FBI helped make the whole thing look legit as shit. They faked everything to make it look like a murder, even taking, pictures of the crime scene. And then calling to her house to tell her, "You won't believe it. Your ex-husband Isaiah has been murdered." Sorry about that.
You mind having a seat for me, please? I'm sorry to be the one to tell you that Isaiah was found dead this morning.
Are you kidding me? Yeah.
So do you have maybe like a box of tissues you can bring for
Did you get something for it?
You like some water?
Yeah. This just doesn't feel real right now to me. I'm sorry. I can't really believe this. I'm a cop. I can't believe this.
You are a cop?
Yes.
Where? In the city?
Yes. I'm trying to help you as a cop, but I just...
Valerie, I don't need you to be a cop right now, okay? You can be a wife and a mother, okay? But I do need you to try.
They should have had the husband come to the back door like, surprise. This shit is sick, dog. And legit sitting there with them little fake ass tears. What people say are my crocodile tears. I don't know where that came from. I kicked it to my old age or something. You gotta be 60 years or older to say that. But still though, bruh, what the fuck?
Trying to help you as a cop, but I just...
Valerie, I don't need you to be a cop right now, okay? You can be a wife and a mother, okay? But I do need you to try to answer some of these questions. You don't know of anybody that would want to harm him? Anyone want to hurt your husband?
They then promptly arrested her.
I'll be acquitted because I did not do this.
After initially denying any involvement in the murder plot against her ex-husband,
Did not do this.
After initially denying any involvement in the murder plot against her ex-husband, she eventually, after being confronted with all the information the police had, pleaded guilty. And guess what? She got a whole 4-year sentence. Though she could be out after 6 months.
She said it.
Whoa. Bit weird that as a cop she didn't notice the whole sting. I mean, a cop, ex-cop, hiring an undercover cop. She must have been very good. Hence being the ex-cop. Kind of funny, but this is even funnier. What if you weren't a cop, but you had worked on a cop TV show? And so then you got a story of like, life imitates art when you try and hire a hitman, and it's essentially like the plot out of one of the TV episodes you worked on. Because it certainly seemed like life imitates art in Sussex, England in 2017.
Well, this is like Cops.
The Bill is a show about the Metropolitan Police in London. You know it yourself, like, the Rosas. You ain't got the and so on and so forth. Man,
That's fucked up.
Doing accents. Ah, fuck it, I enjoy it. A producer on that show, The Bill, was 68-year-old David Harris. And he had a problem. Or thought he did. His problem was that he wanted his partner's fortune and had stopped differentiating between TV shows and real life. See, The Bill had been off the air for about 7 years at this point, but it was still going on in his head.
Ooh.
His partner was Hazel Allinson, partner of 27 years.
No.
And she had a fortune of her own and a house worth over £800,000. He wanted all that, and he wanted to run away with his sex worker girlfriend he had met at a brothel. And he was offering £200,000 for someone to do it. He first approached a car mechanic, asked him if he'd do the job for him. Yeah, hey, you spend all day tinkering with cars. Why don't you tinker with her butt? Right, he turned him down, and then he contacted another person who contacted the cops. Whoa, he called The Bill.
If we can do it this week, okay, leading up to March the 1st, the car can be in your hands Tuesday or Wednesday, and 10 grand in your hand by the weekend. I would then put the 150 grand into your bag, into your hand. It would be cash.
Yeah, it's thinking of what he can do in terms of, it's not just going plunging out.
And it obviously, whatever happens, it will look like an accident or a mugging gone wrong or something of that sort. Alright, so what should...
The part I'm not getting, though, is just randomly asking people. It's like, you don't understand a paper trail? Like, you are legit leaving a trail behind. It's like, if I was going to do this, I'm not. I'm going to be so cautious about how I go about it. I'm not just going, like, oh, damn, I remember bro work at the dollar store. Let me go holler at him real quick. Hey, you want to do this? Nah, all right, never mind then. Oh, I remember... Hell no, because you know one of them is gonna snitch, which they should. Wanna hear that shit?
An accident or a mugging gone wrong or something of that sort. Alright, so what should I do? Should I just wait on a text from...
I'll get in touch with you this evening when I've spoken to him. Okay. And then, we'll go from there.
Alright, mate. So I can sleep in peace.
Yeah, you chill out and relax and just leave it to us.
Chris, I hope so, mate.
All this because you trying to get some little pussy.
Really hope so.
That's crazy.
Thank you, Chris. Oh, you big drink too. Big drink.
And so David met with an undercover cop who would accept the discounted rate of only a mere £150,000 to kill a defenseless old woman. And so David Harris was arrested in bed. He was in the bed with a woman who's 40 years his junior, which is kind of creepy. His defense, by the way, David Harris's defense was that he was writing a book. He was writing like a John le Carré spy novel. So it was all research. You know, his spy novel was about an old guy who fell in love with essentially His novel was apparently about his own life. It was about like an old guy who fell in love with a young woman and wanted to kill the wife. And he was like, I was just researching it to see what would actually happen. He didn't actually want, for God's sake, anyone killed. You know, when he asked to have someone killed.
Persistence with evidence is approaching not one, but 3 different supposed.
See what I say?
This has been a hugely difficult time for the victim, who has been significantly affected.
He was sentenced to 17 years in prison. Hazel, the woman he tried to have assassinated, still visits him today behind bars. Which is just like Julia Merfeld all over again. She fully supports him and she wants him out of prison as soon as possible so they can enjoy, you know, their retirement together. Their golden years. That's just sad.
Like I said, it's their life. I don't get it. And again, it's not for me to get. Everyone has their own opinions. Everyone think different. Everyone was raised different. Everyone moves different. So I get it. The fact that I don't get it, I'm not gonna sit there and just sit on it like, oh, I don't understand. That's it. I don't get it. That's them.
You know, their retirement together. Their golden years. That's just sad. And finally, I've been saving you probably the most well-known case for last. This one's a doozy. You know, I'm sure you've heard of it. And it kind of epitomizes, you know, the art of hiring fake hitmen and what to do if you get caught. You know, she needs no introduction, but I'll give her one anyway. This is a story of Dalia Dippolito. The place, Boynton Beach, South Florida. The year 2009. The characters, and they were characters to be sure, Dalia and Mike Dippolito. Newlyweds. In August 2009, they had just passed their 6-month anniversary, and on the 5th of that month, Dalia was up early in the gym.
Yeah, I think this is the one I saw.
While she was there, the police called our darling Dalia and asked her to return home early that morning to the home where Mike was. They had some bad news. Mike was shot dead, if you can believe that.
Okay.
Holy balls!
I'm Sergeant Ramsey. I'm the one that called you. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry to call you. Listen, we had a report of a disturbance at your house, and there were shots fired. Is your husband Michael? Okay, I'm sorry to tell you, ma'am. He's been killed. He's been killed, man. I'm sorry. Listen. No. Try to calm down. Listen, right now we need to get you to the station. We need to get you to our police station. I can't let you stay, man. We have to do our job. Does he have enemies? Is there anyone that would want to hurt him? Okay, who would want to hurt him? Witnesses said they saw a black male running from here. I can't let you see him, ma'am. Ma'am, I cannot do this right now. Ma'am, I can't do it. Detective Yopi.
They had a big old crime scene set up. It looked really legit. Though it wasn't just for Dalia.
Even the fake murder, the black man did it. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. That was just funny to me, though. I'm trying to cancel me, then. The shit was funny to me.
Crime scene set up. It looked really legit. Though it wasn't just for Dalia. The crime show. Cops. What? Oh, that was there too. So then how did this whole, like, shenanigans, you know, get to be shenanin? Well, Dalia Dippolito, born Dalia Muhammad, was a real estate agent, escort, and gold digger. Her escorting is how she met Mike Dippolito, and the pair of them had stars in their eyes and a taste for the finer things in life. Even if they couldn't afford it. Though they would damn sure try and get there. Mike, he was married when they first met, and to furnish his lifestyle, he was a scammer by trade. It's like the Wolf of Wall Street. More like, I guess, the Wolf of Skid Row. He did 2 years inside, and when he got out, he met Dalia. Though he was still on parole until he paid back, essentially, everything he had scammed people out of. And so Dalia and Mike, they married after only 6 months. So now, he was, you know, like, dead.
I'm sorry for your loss. All right. Listen, is there anybody that you know that you think would want to kill your husband?
This is on probation.
For what?
He's for stock fraud.
Hold on, go back.
That you think would want to kill your husband?
This is on probation.
For what?
He's for stock fraud.
Stock fraud? This is tragic.
Dalia, she thought, ooh, it could, possibly be related to the people he scammed out of money. Someone had their revenge! I mean, apparently.
People weren't happy that he was getting on probation because it's a lot of money he's got to pay back.
Well, when you say people, who are you talking about? People that were involved with him before? Or?
A little bit of everything. This was supposed to be something, when he got off probation, it was supposed to be between us. And he went and he told, friends of his, he told, certain people, and everyone kind of talks, and he's constantly running into a lot of the guys that he was on probation with. Like a couple of days ago, we ran into someone, and that was a target. I mean, And
But happy days for Dalia, right? Just 6 months out of marriage, now she gets all his shit. Nice!
You're lucky you went to the gym. I don't know if you know he was shot. He was shot twice. And I want you to know all this.
Do you know this?
Did they tell you out there?
Dog, it's so hard to fake
But
crime.
Dalia was a woman who used her sexuality to get what she wanted, not just from Mike, but from all the other men she had hanging out of her. One was named Mohammed. She had a businessman, convenience store owner, and actor, who, on his acting portfolio page, his skills include being able to read and memorize things, a rare skill among actors, and his inspiration is Nicolas Cage. He's everyone's. So what does this have to do with the murder of Mike? Well, he was a rube for Dalia. She could basically get him to do and give her whatever she wanted. And after she married Mike, she began telling Mohammed, tales of Mike was abusive, beating the shit out of her, this big Italian bloke was knocking her around. Mohammed believed her until she asked Mohammed, come on. He backed out, called the cops. And so the sting began. Mohammed, he was wired up and he introduced her to the Hitman. Wink, wink.
Yeah, okay, good. Because when I saw this, it was like one of those videos on Facebook. It just jumps in right from this part where it's like the recording part. But oh man.
Mohammed, he was wired up and he introduced her to the Hitman. Wink, wink.
How are we gonna do it? So if we go ahead and we do it like at the house, like how soon could you do it?
I could do it Wednesday morning. He gets 2 1/2. That's it. I'll take a couple things with me, break a couple windows, make it look like a robbery that went bad. It's all over. I'm gone out of there because I don't know how well you handle pressure. Understand? I don't know, because I don't want.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm a lot tougher than what I look. I know you see me. You're like, oh, what a cute little girl, whatever. But I'm not.
That you are. You're extremely beautiful.
Thank you.
Between now and when it's done, you're not gonna have an option to change your mind. Even if you change your mind, I'm talking to him.
There's no changing. No, there's no I'm determined already. I'm positive, like 5,000% sure. Like with me, you're not gonna have a problem. You're not gonna have an issue.
And so the Hitman made sure to tell her to leave her house early that morning, the 5th of August, go to the gym, and while you're out, I'll take care of business.
Listen, we had a report of a disturbance at your house, and there were shots fired.
Her performance is absolutely amazing. She should be the actor, not Mohammed. Let's be honest.
Like, even her fingers was like shaking. Like, I was like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, she was good at. Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's hard. I couldn't do all that. What, dog? See, I couldn't do. They're like, boy, get your fake ass in the car. You get guilty.
The game's over with. Okay? There's no more games with you and I. Now we're going to get down to serious business. I want to know if you know this guy. Come here. Bring this guy in here.
Goddamn.
Get over here. Get over here.
Damn, I'm coming.
You know who this guy is?
No.
You've never seen him before?
I've never seen him before. Ever.
Do you know her?
Put your head up and look at her.
Put your head up.
I've never seen him.
What were you doing coming out of her house?
They even got the undercover cop to come into the interview room. He was still pretending to be the killer. They just wanted to see if she would crack. She didn't, and denied meeting him.
She said, I don't know, dog.
They even got the undercover cop to come into the interview room. He was still pretending to be the killer. They just wanted to see if she would crack. She didn't, and denied meeting him or planning anything.
You're going to jail today for solicitation of murder. You're under arrest. That's an undercover police officer. We filmed everything that you did, recorded everything that you did. You're going to jail for solicitation of first-degree murder of your husband.
I didn't do anything.
Did you hear what I just told you?
I heard you. I didn't
Everything, listen to me. Everything has been recorded. What do you want to do here?
I didn't do anything.
Listen to
I
me.
didn't do anything.
You're going
I
to
didn't
jail.
do anything. Please, I didn't do anything.
Tell me you didn't do anything.
I didn't do anything.
You're going to jail today. As soon as I'm done, they're going to come in here and handcuff you and take you to the Palm Beach County Jail, book you for solicitation of first-degree murder on your husband. Your husband is well and alive.
Thank God.
Oh, yeah, thank God.
That motherfucker said, thank God. I'm sorry, I already seen this, but it's still a refresher. I saw this like forever ago. This particular clip I'm talking about. But I ain't gonna lie. Even when I was watching this one, when I first saw it, I told you I saw it from like the recording on up until like the part where she actually see her. Because I think it's the part, I don't want to spoil it, but it's a part where he's gonna, I'm gonna say he gonna say something. I think inside the interrogation room or whatever, and she gonna start like, "Oh baby, can you come get me?" Like, oh whatever, man. But even though I saw though, I ain't gonna lie. Even when I first saw, it, I was like, yeah, she good. I can't cap. It was pissing me off because I was like, you kind of good at this shit. This shit's scary.
Jail, book you for solicitation of first-degree murder on your husband. Your husband is well and alive.
Thank God.
Oh, yeah, thank God.
Can I see
No, he doesn't want to see you.
I don't want to see you.
He doesn't want to see you.
Please.
You better quit your playing. Listen to me. I want you to quit your acting and get this over with.
You know what?
Yes, you are. Okay. You know what? You need a real good attorney.
I don't know what's going on, please. Oh my God.
Here's why.
Come here, please. Come here. Mike, come here. Come here, please. Come here.
Can't fix this.
Why not? I didn't do anything
I
to
heard
you.
you.
Mike, come here, please. Come here.
Then they ran out of patience, and Mike was outside the interrogation room the entire time after they woke him up that morning with the message, "Your wife wants to kill you." "I didn't mean it, I swear," as she begs him to believe her. April Fools.
You attempted to hire someone to kill somebody else, meaning your husband, okay? And that's why you're here, and that's what you're getting charged with.
Okay, no.
You don't understand, or?
No, I never did that.
Okay, but that's what you're being charged with.
It turned out that she actually tried to frame him more than once by planting drugs in his car. And this wasn't even her first attempt to kill him. She had poisoned his, like, a coffee with antifreeze before.
I don't even remember
that. I didn't do anything, and I didn't plot anything.
And when she went to trial, her defense? Acting. It was all an act. She knew she was being set up. She knew it was a sting. She knew she was being recorded. But she wanted to be a reality TV show star.
I remember that part.
And so, you know, it's like Jersey Shore.
The evidence will show that reality TV often glorifies what we call bad behavior that appeals to the gullibility of people. The evidence will show that the plot for the contract killing of Mike Dippolito was never real. It was a stunt. It was a hoax, a ruse, a plan that Mike Dippolito, whether he'll admit it or not, hoped to capture the attention of someone in reality TV. The evidence will also show you that as it so happened, one of the original and possibly the oldest reality TV show on television is also involved in this case. The TV show Cops was coincidentally in South Florida to ride with the Boynton Beach Police Department during the week that Miss Dippolito was arrested. We believe that the evidence points to an orchestrated stunt to get Mike Dippolito in front of the cameras. We get to a point where Sergeant Sheridan tells Miss Dippolito that her husband is alive. And what does she say? Thank God.
Thank God.
Dalia's of the belief that at this point, Michael Dippolito is going to come in and explain what they are attempting to pull off. It's time to end the scam. Sergeant Sheridan allows Dalia Dippolito to see Mike Dippolito outside the interrogation room. And you'll hear Dalia Dippolito calling Mike, asking him to come into the room, speak to her, pleading with him to explain what's been going on.
Mike was in it, Muhammad was in it, yada yada yada. They all wanted to be reality TV show stars. And so they thought if they kind of went along with it, it would explode the way it did. It's a ballsy defense, I'll give it that.
Did you ever try out for a reality show?
No.
Did you ever have aspirations to be on a reality show?
No.
Did you ever speak to a producer about an idea you had for a reality show?
No.
Did you ever write a script for a reality show?
No.
She was found guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder, 20 years. Until she was able to appeal, and it was successful due to a jury issue. So she went on trial again. This time, the defense was that there was serious misconduct on the part of the police, due to it being filmed for the TV show Cops, and so the police overreacted by staging, the fake death. The police led her along. The police were playing it up. That retrial ended with a hung jury, and so she went on trial a third time. This time she was found guilty. 16 years in prison for Dalia Dipshit.
Yeah, that one I do remember that one. It was. Hold up. Oh man, I wasn't expecting that. Like I mentioned earlier, though. Hey, it's their life, not mine. They work it out how they work it out. Whatever works in your relationship. If it worked, that's your relationship. But basically, like I said, I just wasn't expecting that. I don't think this is the first time I've ever heard stories like this where it's like, someone tried to put a what on me, but I forgive him. Whoa, that one threw me for a loop, whatever. And I do like how he changed it up, and basically we got like a compilation. I would have probably put that like top 3, top 5, something like that. That way I know, because I thought I was about to get a full video on one story or whatever. But whatever, it's a short channel. But I do understand why he's doing that, though, because sometimes when you watch creators or just people in general, people do like to change things up, so I get it. You want to keep that flame going, so it's like, all right, let me try something else. Let me see if I can put my creative juices somewhere else or whatever. So when you see like YouTubers you watch and they change things up, it's because, hey, they want something different, though. I mean, we're human too. Sometimes you just want to change things up. But either way it goes, But either way it goes, though, that one at the very end, that's when I was talking about at the beginning when I was like, yeah, I saw it. Even though it was forever ago, I saw it, and I saw it in pieces because it was like something I just saw when I was just scrolling social media. So I watched it. But even when I saw it, that one was like, whoa, that was one of those ones that stuck with me. So when that one was in here, it's like, oh, I kind of knew it was going to be in here because it was, that one was scary, man. I was like, oh my gosh, her acting. Maybe you think it wasn't on point, but I was like, yeah, it's kind of some good acting. I'm sorry. Hey, I'm going to go and get up out of here and enjoy my day. You go and do your same thing, night, evening, morning, whenever you're watching this. Hit that like button. I appreciate it. Click that sub, turn that bell on. Hey, I appreciate it. We hit 8K. We hit 8K too. That's dope. I appreciate it. But I'm out.